Good morning. So I'm Lynn, and I think it's time we get back to learning about the different states of the United States. Did you know that the states on the east side were the first states? Because when the people came from the ocean, from England and the Netherlands, they landed on the east coast first, and all those little tiny states that we haven't even talked about yet were the oldest states. That's where people landed first. And when they landed there were just Indians living there. The first people that lived in our land were Indians. And so we live on the very other end. I'm going to show you. If you look here, you can see here's the east coast where people landed initially, right in here. And then as people settled and more people started coming over from the ocean over here, they started spreading to Missouri and Oklahoma. It took a long time for people to get this far. And for a while, there were lots of people here in Missouri that were gathering in wagons together, and they were going across these plains where there were still a lot of Indians, and some of those Indians weren't too happy about people coming across what they considered their land, and they were not, sometimes not very safe. Some of them were very helpful, but some were not, because some fought with each other. A lot of the Indians fought each other, and they didn't have any problem attacking people coming across their land. So those people would gather together in wagons and put all their stuff in big covered wagons, and they would travel together to be safer. Be lots of strings of wagons coming across the plains, and they would end up, most of them wanted to end up either over here, kind of where we live, or down here, where there was good fertile land and nobody was farming the land, and you could get a lot of land and start a farm and someday have a lot of money if you didn't get killed going across the plains. So those were very brave people that came across. They were called the pioneers. And it's because of them that we have cities like Portland here and San Francisco here, and a lot of other in between. So look at the states again. I want you to remember Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, remember Old Mexico's down here, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota. Those are pretty much the ones we talked about. We might have done Florida and Louisiana. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a little quiz. Are you ready? I'm going to show you the first one, and I want you to say it, and if you get it right, you can hold your finger up. What state is that? If you said Oregon, you're right. That's where we live, at least the Willits South. The other part of our family lives up here in, what's that state? Yeah, you guys live in Washington. Okay, let's see if we can do another one. There's Oregon. What's that one? It's the one Grandma and Grandpa traveled through when we go down to Arizona. We start here, and we go all the way down here. And then we get into Arizona, and we end up about right there. What is that state we go through? It looks like a piece of cheese. If you said Nevada, Grandma wrote a song about Nevada. I like Nevada. It has lots of brown hills and blue skies. Nevada, you can hold up that finger. You ready for another one? What's that one? It's where Grandma and Grandpa like to go. It's where we have a different house to get out of the cold. It's Arizona. Did you say Arizona? If you did, you can hold up another finger. Ready? What's that one? Well, it's north. You should get this one. Yes. The other Willets live up here in Washington. Yeah, right in here in Seattle area. That's the state of Washington, and it's right next to Canada. It's right at the top of our country. So if you said Washington, I hope you have another finger up. What's this one? It shares our coast with the Pacific Ocean. All these states share the coast. What's this long state that everybody wanted to come out to when they were coming over on wagon trains? Did you say California? If you did, you can hold up another finger. California. Okay. That's in Disneyland. It's about right in here. We would like to go with you to Disneyland, but we can't do it right now, can we? No. But when you go, be sure and tell Grandpa and I, because we want to go too. And what's this state over here to the east? It has no ocean. It's on this side, and our Uncle Rick and Aunt Nancy and her other cousins live there. Did you say Idaho? If you said Idaho, you can hold up another finger. Okay. Oh, what's down here by Arizona? What's this state? Do you know? It's not Old Mexico, it's New Mexico. Yes, did anybody get that one? And over here, on the other side, even further east than New Mexico, is the Panhandle state where a lot of my family came from. Your great-grandma and grandpa's. And this state is Oklahoma. Isn't that fun to say? Oklahoma. That's a good word. I don't know if that was an Indian word. We should look that up. Yes, if you said Oklahoma, you're right. And some of your relatives came from there. You have genetics in your body right now from people that used to live there. And there were lots of Indians in Oklahoma at one time. And what's this big state under Oklahoma? Does anybody know this big state? It's Texas, that's right. The Lone Star State. And it, you notice it goes down into Mexico. Yeah, that used to be Mexico, part of that, but now it's Texas. Texas, yes, the biggest, not the biggest state actually in the United States. The biggest state is way up here above us on this side of Canada, but it's about one of the biggest states. Okay, what about this one? Here's another one that my family came from. My daddy came from this state. It's called Arkansas. Did you get that one? Arkansas is right above Louisiana, and you always know Louisiana because it looks like a boot. It looks like Santa Claus's boot, doesn't it? But it's Arkansas. And the one below it is what? Louisiana, that's right. Do you know what this one is sticking out here in the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean? A lot of people like to go here because it's warm. That's Florida, yeah. That's a fun place to visit. There are a lot of hurricanes, though. And here's where my sister, your great Aunt Donna, lives. This is, remember where the wagon trains got ready to go? They came across here and got wagon trains, and then they all started together across the plains to Oregon and California. That state is Missouri. Can you say Missouri? Yeah. What's this state? We kind of forgot him down below Idaho, next to Nevada. Do you know what this stair-step state is? That's the state of Utah. Yeah, Utah. They have some beautiful mountains there. And some people called the Mormons went there because they had a religion that other people didn't like, so they went there so they could live in peace and practice their religion. That is Utah. And what's this big state right here just to the east of Idaho? Do you know what that big state that's has? I think they call it the Blue Sky State because they have big skies, have lots of ranches. That state is Montana. Did you say Montana? Mm-hmm. And I put this one next because these two square states, I used to get them mixed up. But they're right below Montana. And the first one is Wyoming. And the second one is Colorado. So that's something you just have to remember, that Colorado is above New Mexico and Wyoming is right below Montana. And one way to remember that is that Yellowstone Park is right in there. Okay. And then, so we have Montana, Wyoming with Yellowstone Park, and Colorado. Did you say Colorado? And then a little bit further east is Nebraska. And I put this one in here because Nebraska has a notch in it there, and it helps us remember these two squares that are hard to remember. Remember, if they're north of Nebraska, we start with North Dakota and South Dakota. And then Kansas is right under there. So let's say it: North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Kansas. And the Willett family used to raise wheat here in Kansas. Grandpa Willett, your grandpa, was born about right over here. And his family also came out to Oregon to raise cranberries because the wheat all dried up. And they came out here to raise cranberries. Okay. So what's this one? It's above Nebraska. It's north. It's north what? North Dakota. What's the south one? South Dakota. Good. North Dakota and what? Right above Nebraska? South Dakota. That's right. And what's below Nebraska, where Grandpa's family used to raise wheat? Kansas. Can you say Kansas? It's kind of a square too. Okay, that's all for now. And I'm going to do another video in just a minute. And I put this up here so you can guess what it's going to be about. So stay tuned for that one.